Shimokesh no kun ifrid an ara educas agus oger module chunskado na skulna bioga cadid na plan na tá serene kun curlish and lean skulna a tá on sa game fi láher agus kun status boo na hort chunskadal. So Minister, this is relative to the small schools project. You'll be aware that our predecessor, Minister Foley, I think she deserves great credit for this initiative, started a pilot project for clustering small schools in support of the schools, the administrative burden on the principals of those schools, and I'd like to see the project put on a firm footing in the future.
Thank you, Deputy. Minister.
Thank you very much, Deputy. The small schools projects, the programme for government provides for a number of measures to support small schools, including the introduction of new national small school projects and training in new administrative supports. The government is very aware that the small schools are an important part of local communities, and they do glue a community together in terms of the school, not just for the students and the school communities, but for generations to come as well. The current Small Schools Action Plan research established in 2021 is due to conclude at the end of the next school year. The current Small Schools project is currently being implemented on a pilot basis to support collaboration and sharing of resources among small schools in rural areas. It also enables them to collaborate, identify common challenges and to trial innovative solutions. In the 6 clusters of small schools, 2 in Galway, 1 each in Donegal, Kerry, Wicklow and Waterford, consisting of between them 5 schools per cluster. The feedback from the schools has been extremely positive, and this is reflected in the interim evaluation report published by the Department. The independent review identifies potential areas for closer collaboration and analysis of the scalability of actions already undertaken. As the project proceeds, a further evaluation will take place. Learning from this crucial evaluation of this project will be invaluable and form a strong basis to inform future policy directions in relation to all small schools, including how the programme for government can be delivered.
Deputy.
Good morning, Ara. I suppose you've noted yourself many of the very positive elements of this scheme and how the schools in the evaluation that has been undertaken by the Department reflected positively on it. As you said, there were 2 such clusters in County Galway, 1 in Gort and agus Cion I Gantar Irisaniach e Gunamara vi 3 Skull sa Scéim Sin, Skull North Moor, Skull Moynihan agus Skull North here. And Minister, what has happened is that other communities who have seen the benefit of the clustering project have approached me and asked, there are a number of similar small schools in our community, and could we see the scheme being expanded to include a new cluster in that community? I think that's a very fair call. You've noted the administrative burden is reduced, the school staff have got additional training, there's shared learning among the teachers and the pupils, and I think it really is a measure that we should look at extending on a permanent basis, and really that's my request for today.
Thanks, Deputy. Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. I suppose the importance of this project will form policy into the future in terms of small schools. And I suppose the first instance is to acknowledge the huge work the small schools do in every county in Ireland, and indeed in some city locations as well, because of different demographics within the cities. But to cluster and to understand the challenges that they have, this project, and I know you are quite right, Deputy, what they're looking for is that more schools are looking for to get into this pilot scheme as fast as possible because they see the benefits from it. But the evaluation of this pilot project will form a policy into the future in relation to schools, and it is important as well that we understand them. And I suppose one of the things that I would have seen over the last number of years is where schools were struggling at one stage for numbers, and then because of the different dynamics and different work practices by people, that the school now is bursting at the seam from the side of it, and additional teachers are coming in. So these small schools are hugely important into the future for Ireland, and the benefits of this project will inform policy.
Deputy.
Thank you, Minister. I think one of the most positive attributes of this scheme, and I have to say I have some experience of it, is for those principals who also have responsibility for teaching a class or teaching multiple classes, that the scheme enabled them to do two things I felt were important. One is cluster their release days, so that when the principal was on a release day for the administrative duties in the school, the same sub was there every day, which gave great consistency and continuation to the school and to the pupils. And that person who was covering the release days did so in every cluster, meaning that there was nearly a permanent or a full-time position arrived at with those release days, and I think that was one benefit of it. And in the review, Minister, that you've mentioned yourself there, I think two concluding remarks from the review I would see as being should indicate, as you've said, that this should form part of policy into the future, the near future hopefully, because as you said, it is included in the programme for government. But one concluding remark is that no one project can overcome the challenges faced by small schools in rural areas, but this is a small step in the right direction. I think that's accurate. And the second one comes directly from the clustering guard, where there was the appointment of a cluster administrative officer, and everyone agreed that that is something that should be expanded to all small schools.
To conclude, Minister.
Yeah, it is a step in the right direction. And I think it is a clear indication, our predecessor in the department under Norma Foley, she certainly was moving that initiative on. But it is a clear indication that the importance of the small schools in the communities, and it's just not, from my experience, and we have visited quite a number of schools over the last 8 or 9 months, the amount of schools, there are some city schools as well because of different areas, they're small. But to have an administrator within the cluster, there's huge collaboration then within the schools that are part of the cluster, and they can benefit from a whole variety of cross-cooperation, not just at school and teaching and everything else, but understanding the challenges that are there. We are very committed to looking at the project and evaluating it and understanding it and how we can best support schools into the future. And you know, principals who have multiple classes in the small schools, the administrative day and having a guarantee of the teacher coming in every week, the same teacher, that's a hugely